Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gotzo, and welcome to Race First coverage of Round 7 of the inaugural season of the ISRA Truck Series. Coming to you tonight from the self-cleaning banks of Dover International Speedway. It is the gotcha race after last week, which was kind of considered a gotcha, but everything went kind of really clean and green last week. So could this be the gotcha week that we have been anticipating? We don't know, but we'll see. Joining me in the booth is back again from his sabbatical on vacation there. This is Mark Murphy. Mark, we're at Dover, and the trucks, a little bit more of a fitting combination than the Indy cars and then Dover here. Trucks in Dover seem to be a lot better. But welcome back, now. And welcome back. And your thoughts so far on what you've been seeing in these practices with 3:25 left to play in qualifying.
Who can mind their manners on corner exit is going to be the thing that I'm watching out for. These trucks tend to get extremely understeery coming off the corner. You're going to see a lot of right fronts going away. We're going to see we get some long green flag runs here, Gary. We're going to see guys slipping and sliding. And self-cleaning is absolutely right. Samco just self-cleaned himself right into the fence on his qualifying lap. But self-cleaning is exactly right. You never want to, if you see trouble ahead, go high, because all the action is
going down. Going down.
That's
well,
exactly
except
right.
sometimes you see those nasty rebounds off the bottom, especially if they take that bottom impact at a high speed. They'll bounce right back up into traffic. But yeah, you're right. Stay high is the general rule of thumb here.
Safer barrier is very springy down there, Gary.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the points situation. Bring that up on the screen here real quick. And Lionel Callisto, with his win last week, second win of the season, 227 points over Matt Wagner, who we're currently watching right now qualifying. Wagner currently provisionally P2. With 203, Michael Goodman, 195. Goodman is in the lineup. He has not taken a time yet. Sam Crow is P4. He is in the lineup. He had a bit of an issue last week, and we'll look to return strong there in the 8 truck, provisionally at 5th at a 158.45 miles per hour. Richie Hearn in the mix here, P5, 184 points, and right behind him Christopher Reagan at 183 points, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes at 181. So pretty tight pack from even P10 all the way up to P1. But really, it looks like kind of going into this race and in the final race of the season, it's really going to kind of be down to the, I would say, the top 3 or 4, depending on what happens today. And we'll probably roll into Fontana next week with 2 title contenders, really.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those, you got 2 clear-cut front runners. With a good run tonight, Lionel Callisto can pretty much sew it up. But you got 2 clear front runners. You've got a couple of guys who, with a couple of good runs, can make a run at it. And then you've got a couple more that need some help. 3 more need some help. But really, this is still anybody's ball game. Lionel Callisto has a bad night, and you're gonna see some other guys jump right up in there now.
Goodman to the top. Provisionally, yeah. With 30 seconds left to play with a 159.4
now,
with his speed.
As a noted counter of points, Gary, what works against that is the grid size. So it's going to be more difficult to make that up if you've got a small field than a large one. But anything can happen.
Well, we're getting ready to grid up, and before we do, if you enjoy Race First coverage of the ISRA Truck Series and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future iRacing, Race First iRacing broadcasts. And let's get into the starting lineup. Now, I am using a new overlay, and the starting lineup portion has been where the bug has been lately. So we are going to see, once I push this button, how the bug has been fixed. So we shall see. But while we're waiting for that, we'll make sure to get up the graphics here. Give us a thumbs up, though. We do appreciate that. And don't forget to subscribe and notify. And also, while you're at it, monetarily support your commentary team here. Please donate if you have not done so already. Only 2 races left to do so, to donate for the truck series. As you see the weather up at the top of the screen, we'll get that back up on there. There it is. It's 106 degrees track temperature, 78 degrees Fahrenheit ambient temperature. And let's get this starting lineup up here. Well, the good news is we don't have the times, but we now have the actual formation, or what the qualification order is. So Goodman on the pole, Richie Hearn P2, Matt Wagner P3, Dean Darth Mull P4, Pepto Joe Flanagan P5, Sam Crow P6, Say Hey Lewis Hayes in 7th, P8 is John Van Voor Ellis, P9 is first time in the series, Jimbo Sultan Pfeiffer, I know it's his last name, but it's Jimbo Sultan Pfeiffer, P9, and Lionel Callisto, who was fast in practice, is back in P10. Moving on, we do have a slightly larger field than normal. Ron Hacker, George Anzaldo, and Mike Rigney rounding out the top 13. So only 13 cars tonight.
Chris Reagan is entered. Callisto, Hacker, Anzaldo, Rigney, and Reagan did not set a time here. And it appears as though Mike Rigney is fighting some computer issues because he has dropped and reconnected a couple of times. But those last 5 cars did not set a time. So to me, that points to Lionel Callisto maybe having touched the wall here on his qualifying run. That's really easy to do. It's also easy to speed on pit road here, leaving on your qualification attempt.
My gosh, yeah, 35 miles per hour is the pit road speed here, so extremely easy to speed here.
Yep.
This is one of these tracks that I kind of wish they would have an adjustable pit road speed.
Well, and for guys that and we've said it as they get ready to come to green. We keep saying it. These are IndyCar guys mostly. As they come down to green, big jump from the pole sitter. That is Goodman. He's going to roar away, followed by Richie Hearn in 2nd. Matt Wagner 3rd, Dean Darth Mull 4th, and Pepto Joe rounds out your top 5 early here. Everybody's going to get in line. I suspect that we're going to see just a lot of taking her easy here early, Gary. These things can chew the mess out of the tires if you're not kind.
Well, the question was last week, who is doing the 2-stop, who is doing the 1-stop? The 1-stop proved to be the better way to go. Who will do the 2-stop? We shall see how this race pans out. But Richie Hearn, with the new sponsorship from 4D Racewear, to the front.
There he goes. Now, within that 1 or 2 stop, there are several different variations, right? Gary, you can lean on the stuff. You can lean on your stuff early and try to pull a gap and then hang on. That was me at Texas tonight. I did not hang on. Save your stuff and try to be the comer rather than the goer, or you can just try to be even with everything. And so that's kind of what I'm going to watch here. Obviously, Richie has decided, hey, Richie Hearn, I'm Richie Hearn. I'm going to go. But who's playing possum? Who's just kind of laying back here?
Michael Goodman's gone back 4 spots, so maybe he has decided that he'd take a good start at it, lead a lap, and then kind of fade back and do work on some fuel conservation. Because again, old habits are hard to break. A lot of IndyCar drivers here, and the first rule of IndyCar racing is saving fuel.
Yeah. Save your fuel, save your tires. Richie Hearn, by the way, purple lap, 23.371. As he streaks out to a 7/10 of a second lead over Wagner, Mull, and Flanagan and Goodman here. And by streaking away, he is 3/10 quicker here than the next fastest truck.
Well, he was very happy about getting a podium here not too long ago, and he's got 2 podiums this season. But not the top step. So he is definitely looking forward to that top step. Watching the battle in the mid-pack right now with Michael Goodman. Trucks around him.
Now, some intelligence on Richie Hearn. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but the series that you call on Thursday night will feature him in its Indianapolis 500. He's going to join us over at the Elite Racing League for a little Indianapolis action here.
That's right. Looking forward to that. It will be Richie here, and also you're going to have a couple of former and current IndyCar drivers in that race. R.C. Anderson, I believe, is going to be that race, and TK.
Tony Kanaan. We had Oliver, or not? Was it Askew?
Oliver Askew
was in it. Yeah, Oliver Askew's run it with us. There's actually a rather long and distinguished list of drivers who have failed to make that thing. Santino Ferrucci probably being the most notable. He made multiple attempts a couple of years ago.
Wow!
Over the course of the waning hours and couldn't make the show. But yeah, always awesome to run that race. Kanaan is an amazing sim racer. I had the privilege of racing with him in that before. He's an amazing sim racer, an amazing guy. It's amazing how well they fit in to that crowd too. We had Kyle Busch run it once. That was fun.
And cracking open a cold beverage.
It's Dr. Pepper.
All right.
It's Dr. Pepper. I drove 21 hours, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, so I'm not.
Dean Darth Ball getting on the low side here of Wagner. Going to follow him through, and if he's not careful, Pepto Joe is going to come right with him.
Now, I want to apologize for everybody that's in our viewing audience. If you hear yelling, screaming, cursing, or glass shattering, my wife is a Purdue grad, and so they're playing basketball on the TV. She's engrossed, so my apologies in advance. She looks like she's going to need the.
Well, I'm pretty sure ISU lost the NIT because of me. I haven't watched ISU all season long. I get an alert that they're up by 7 with like less than 3.5 to go, 2.5 to go. So I flip it on because I want to check this out. And then was it Seton Hall? Seton Hall goes on a 9-0 run to take the lead and later win the game. So.
Though that's basketball for you. That's basketball for you. Both of those two teams are.
My Sycamores were awful when I was there, so it just par for the course whenever I watch the Sycamores play.
See, that's the beauty of having gone to Ball State. I have no expectations for anything. Still kind of just watching these guys bide their time here. Richie Hearn has staked himself to a 1.5 second lead, still pulling out 2 or 3 tenths a lap. Dean Mall, 2.5 back. Flanagan, 2.1, 2.8 back to Goodman, and Sam Crow, 3.3 seconds back, rounds out your top 5. Very strung out here, Gary. I don't think we have anybody really in.
No, everyone's about a tenth separate. So we got the intervals on the screen. Hearn is leader by 1.5 seconds almost. Flanagan has about 6 tenths back to Goodman. Goodman 7 tenths back to Crow. Crow 2 back to Wagner. Wagner 4 back to JV. JV 2 back to Callisto, who's moved up a couple positions. Pfeiffer has 3 back to Rigney. Rigney's moved up to 10th.
I'm enjoying that graphic there with the guys and the number and where they started, iRating and safety rating. All that's very informative, especially for the people watching the broadcast. If you're familiar with iRacing, that's a really cool brief synopsis on the guy you're watching. Same for the track stuff, tip and air and so forth. We got dynamic weather here, and so to know the weather and the track temp is extremely helpful. And the weather here is going to change. Not just, I'm looking at the forecast now. It's not just going to change, Gary, in terms of temperature. It's going to cool off as the race goes, but the wind is also forecasted to change direction as well, which I know it doesn't sound like it's a huge deal on a mile track. But these guys are hauling at 160 miles an hour down in the corners. Change of wind direction can play heck with what you're trying to do. So that's handy to know as well.
Just watching Chris Reagan now underneath Rigney. Rigney up high on the banking.
Now, I would suspect, you know, and of course, I don't know much, but I would suspect Christopher Reagan
Reagan
doing
in
his
the
lap
wall.
times. Yeah, just kind of kissed a little bit
Yeah.
there, didn't he? He got by old Rigney, though, so he's moved Christopher Reagan tonight. Mike Rigney back to 10th, but looking at Chris's lap times, they are extremely consistent. For example, Richie Hearn has fallen off over a second a lap. Chris Reagan, his variation is about 8/10. So remember I said at the top, there's going to be comers and there's going to be goers. Who's burning it up at the beginning and who's saving it? Christopher Reagan looks like he's the guy that's saving it right now.
And looking on the outside of Vanvor Ellis, JV going up high just to kind of put a little bit of a aero wash there on Reagan. Reagan going
Well, and he guessed
one.
wrong because old Vanvor Ellis, what he did was he kind of moved the arrow. He got himself up in that second lane, and I don't know that the TV shot does this place justice because it's almost like the turn 2 and 4 wall jump out at you off the corner. It's a very abrupt transition,
well, let's ride with Chris Reagan.
Yeah, let's do that because what you're looking at race fans is the wall comes out very abruptly, and if you're up in that second lane like John just was,
It just comes up even quicker.
Yeah, it comes up even quicker, and you literally feel like you're just gonna smoke the fence and you have to leave. Not only that, but the apex here is pretty late, and so you almost want to be down at the bottom. See how Reagan is down there? He's almost at the bottom when he comes up off. You come up off the corner.
Pepto Joe around
high.
Darth Maul right there, moving Pepto Joe up to P2. Darth Maul back to 3rd. Michael Goodman recovered a little bit. He was back in the lower portion of the top 5. He's now up to 4th.
Pepto Joe's
Go ahead.
Pepto Joe's another guy. He's not fallen off a whole. I mean, he's fallen off a lot less. Right? Who's been saving their stuff? But here's my thought. You come up out of the corner here. You don't drive off it. Like at Texas in the IndyCar tonight, I was driving off the corner. Here you drive up and away from it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Here we see Wagner getting around Crow. A good speed shot here. Wow, very good.
But also, and the last thing I'll say on IndyCars tonight, I promise.
Oh no, we're going to talk about IndyCar all night long. That's
if you want to see something frenetically silly, go back and watch the race first broadcast of our race here. We were doing 200 plus miles an hour around this joint.
Turned into a fuel race.
Yeah, 200 mile an hour trying to calculate gas mileage on a mile oval. Just my idea of fun. But no, it's frenetically fast. It's fast in these things, and then add 50 miles an hour.
Maul up high on the corner of exit on the down the backstretch, I believe.
Yep.
And Michael Goodman trying to stick the nose in there, but it looks like Maul's getting a good run off the high side.
Something to kind of keep an eye on. Lionel Callisto started in the back, did not set a qualifying time for whatever reason. There's a lot of cars from Dean Mole in 3rd all the way back to Lionel Callisto in 7th.
Yeah, we got a wide shot on them right now. That's what we're watching.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars right there. And you've definitely got some comers and you got some goers in that crew. Matt Wagner might be last time Matt Wagner was the fastest car in that group, and other than Flanagan was the fastest car on the track. Hearn, Flanagan, and Wagner were the only three cars in the 24/7 bracket. But this is a good battle brewing here. I suspect Callisto is not going to be 7th for very long.
Looking at chat, Hugo Gallus says, I didn't make it since last weekend. They changed the time here in this country. I wish that I've heard more people with the difficulties in time changing with and their localities. I wish everybody would do it all at once. I don't know if that's even possible in this day and age, but there's Wagner looking low going into turn 2 and getting around Goodman. Now here comes Callisto. But, Hugo didn't join us because of a time change in his country, so sorry to see that.
Or just, don't change it at all.
Well, not everyone could be like Indiana of old. Although your neck of the woods, did your neck of the woods change up there in South Bend? I thought they did. I thought they changed because of Chicago.
Well, I grew up in Evansville.
Oh, so they did change in Evansville.
Yeah, so we had the worst of it. So if you lived in Vanderburg, Wark, or I believe, Vanderburg, Wark, Posey, might have been Gibson County. You changed your clocks, and you were always with Chicago.
Always, yeah.
And then there were a certain number of counties that didn't change their clocks, so they were half the year with New York.
Yeah, that was pretty much the rest of the state. So, and then with the exception of Northwest Indiana and the Chicago suburbs. So we would during the winter, I believe, we were with New York time. So anytime you wanted to watch your favorite show, it was always 8 Central or 8 Eastern. But then when the time changed in the summer, then all of a sudden your favorite show started at 7 Central.
I just remember my stepdad, very, very successful businessman, an engineering firm, did what he did. But I remember he had 4 clocks on his desk because he had office. They had office in Evansville, an office in Indy, an office in Nashville, an office in Chicago, an office in St. Louis, and an office in Cincinnati. And for half the year, there were 4 different times among those 6 places. Because some did daylight savings and some didn't, and some were central and some were, it was a mess. I wish they didn't change it at all. Just Eastern, you're Eastern. It also didn't work out very well when we went to play. We would go play Vincennes and Jasper and stuff in basketball, and that stunk because, they would start varsity game at 7, which was 6 our time in the hour, whatever, to get there. It was usually a rush trip, and then you didn't get home until late.
Late, yeah. And Hugo says now that his country, they are the same as Eastern Standard Time. So, welcome to Eastern Standard Time, Hugo.
That's right. So Hugo knows that there are 47 days, 14 hours, 59 minutes, and 25 seconds left till the Indianapolis 500. But who's counting?
Although today, when we were talking about Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they put more than 50,000 people in that place for the Great Eclipse of 2024. Of course,
we got a battle brewing.
Yes, we do.
I hate to catch off. Lionel Callisto is doing his darndest to get around Dean Ball, and he's finally going to do it. I think, he scuffed a good year off the side of those tires there.
Sorry, I just finished my drink. Sorry if anyone heard the straw sound. But yeah, 50,000 people showed up to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and many of them not even race fans. For the first time, get a chance to check out the place. Since tomorrow is the open test, wall back in the wall again, they actually had a couple guys come out and do some demo laps for people that were there for the very first time. So hopefully we made some new fans. But I think the highlight of it all, other than the Eclipse itself, was getting a chance to get autographs from not just your favorite driver, but also from astronauts as well.
Yeah, and that was a cool thing that they did. Obviously, Indy in the Speedway, just an amazing facility in its own, just on its own. But I think I read where like 80% of the people that went to that thing had never bought a ticket to an event there before.
Yeah, I believe it. George Anzalo going low into 3, allowing traffic to go on the high side of him.
Just circling among lap times now. Lionel Callisto is 4/10 a lap quicker than Richie Hearn. He is the only driver turning laps in the 24-second bracket now. Everybody else now.
He said in the post-race interview, and Wagner's right ahead of Callisto here. Callisto said last week in the post-race interview that he likes driving this place, and he has shown it. He is up 6 spots. He says he likes how you can diamond off the curves, and how you enter down on the low side, kind of float it up, and then exit back down low again.
Yeah, and it's going to reward him for doing that. You know, you kind of watch his line. He drifts up in that second lane, and then he's right back on the bottom coming off, and he doesn't hammer the gas really until he gets back in a straight line. And you can tell he's really worked, or he's either worked at it or the track suits him or whatever it is. But as the tires have worn out, he has turned that car, or that Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace looking truck into a rocket ship.
Well, and we are about 4 laps away from anyone who wants to do a 2-stopper.
You know, and thinking about that, so, you know, Richie Hearn's fast lap 23.3, most guys 23.5. Right now they're running 25.
And that Hearn was George almost in the wall. Yeah, Hearn's lap was a 156.9, so almost 157 miles an hour.
Well, I'm trying to think about time.
Yeah.
So you're probably gonna lose 2 laps.
Oh yeah.
And we're looking at, you know, you're gonna lose almost. Well, you may not lose 2, but you're gonna lose close to it. So, okay, well, think about that. You know, 2.5 a lap for 20 laps probably is the advantage.
Oh, can anyone get to 75? That's the key? That's another 25 laps on top of this. Can anyone get to 75?
Oh yeah. I would imagine they can probably do 100 laps on gas.
That'll be your one stopper here, is getting to lap 75.
Yeah, I don't know that the 2-stop is in play. I don't know that makes a whole lot of sense unless you just, you know, unless you're like George or something where they just so evil handle it that you want to come and throw some tires on it just for survival. But you know, it's I think. You know, and then there's a law of diminishing returns there too. Do you leave the last stop as long as possible? Do you pit it, you know, at exactly halfway?
And Pepto Joe is on pit road.
Yep. So don't know if that's strategic. Don't know if he hit something.
I would say, yeah, until we know otherwise, I'm going to say this is strategic. I said this is right at the window opening for the 2-stopper, and so he would be pitting now at 50 and 100, and he's done for the race. He's getting left sides and right sides, it looks like. We got Dean Darth Maul on pit road as well. He had a car that, or excuse me, a truck. There's another nickel that was not handling very well towards the end of that run.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, and I've been in that situation many a time where it just you want to get off the tires so doggone bad that 2-stop strategy, you get in the window and you can't. You're hanging on.
Pepto Joe is going to stay just 1 lap down, so he did not get lapped twice on pit road. So a good entry and exit for him. He was far enough up front that he was able to stay at least 1 lap. So that's going to be key. There's Maul, and he's going a lap down. So he went 2 laps down, and he's coming up to speed now. So Pepto Joe managed to stay only 1 lap down on that stop. Very good for him. Oh, and Jimbo Pfeiffer right in front of him smacks the wall.
Right, and that's, you know, there we go. So here's the question becomes, you know, these guys are in the danger zone because we don't have lucky dogs here. We're operating under old school rules where you gotta race your way back. You got to do it like Bill Elliott, Talladega in 1987. You got to drive around everybody. Now, certainly, Pepto Joe is going to have the speed. I'm watching.
Oh, look at this there now. Now we're out Richie with Maul, Darth Maul with new tires. Slowed up Richie enough that here comes Wagner to the bottom. This is a battle for the lead.
Interested party sitting third. That would be Lionel Callisto. So the 2 championship contenders right there. Oh, we're gonna wreck!
Oh no! And we're still green, but Callisto to the lead.
You gotta see the in-car of that. Just put yourself in Lionel Callisto's shoes for just a quick second. My goodness. Looked like Richie Hearn just kind of bounced off the wall a little bit, got into the side of Wagner, turned his truck into the fence. They both pancake it. Lionel Callisto sneaks on through down to the bottom. We have a new leader.
And there's the in-car.
Whew. Not do that again.
No, and they still have to stop. So that was done with some really worn tires. I would imagine Callisto's probably going to do exactly what he did at Iowa and try to get to that one stopper. That seemed to work well for him in Iowa. It might work well for him here. The first of the truck to stop on the racetrack right now is Pepto Joe. There he is. He's turning laps in the 23.8s. Which he's about 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody ahead of him. Everybody behind him on new tires right now are in the solidly in the 23s.
Yeah, he's last lap for Lionel Callisto 25.1, Pepto Joe 23.8, so 1.3 a lap. He is coming in a hurry. He is just off.
Yeah, he needs to move because he's going to have to stop again.
Well, he's going to get after the pit stop cycle through. Whenever Callisto, Wagner pit, he's going to cycle back through. So he'll be the leader. The question is by how much.
So the all that have pitted is Pepto Joe, Dean Darth Maul, JV, Ron Hacker, Jimbo Pfeiffer. They have those are all the cars. I think Goodman's on pit road now. So Goodman could go as long as he could only handle the 61. So this will get him to 120-ish, and then he's going to pit for a very quick but short stint there at the end.
Well, it could be banking on a caution too. Rule of thumb is the shorter the field, the less you bank on a caution. Certainly.
Speaking of cautions screwed Matty Wagner last night in the Dark Horse CW12 series. So he had the strategy to probably get the win there at Homestead. And he had it planned out right to the very end. And unfortunately, I jinxed it. I said, there's no cautions yet. And then all of a sudden, with about 3 to go, there goes your caution. Or actually, with about 15 to go, there was a caution. And another caution with 3 to go that actually ended the race early. But anyways, hopefully better luck for Matty this round in the ISRA trucks. Callisto still your leader. Richie Hearn back to third. Sam Crow in fourth. Rigney in fifth. He's up 8 spots. Chris Reagan in sixth. He's up 8 spots. Say hey, Lewis Hayes. He's back in seventh. Started in seventh. Just cruising at the moment. But right behind him is Dean Darth Maul with a new set of freshies on.
Pepto Joe's still a second and a half a lap quicker, so what's that equate to? 25 seconds a lap. Harry, if you actually went to a real school that taught math,
I didn't need to know math. That's what I got Excel for.
What are we looking at? 17, 18 laps. I would suspect that Pepto Joe's going to unlap himself here. He's got Richie Hearn on the same straightaway. So
now here's Hacker. Hacker stopped with him. So Hacker, this is not a battle for position, but these guys have the same, roughly the same quality of tire on at the moment. But to the inside, Flanagan of Hacker. Hacker still going to get him a good battle up at the top there, but letting him go. Next up in front of him is Sam Crow.
Again, not for position.
No, not for position.
Now, if you're Sam Crow, you pull over and let him go. He's not your race. The guys that are on one stop, there's no benefit to racing the 2-stop guys.
Right.
Not your race at all. Good job by Ron Hacker. Just okay, fought him for as much as he wanted, and then let him go. Richie Hearn is next on the hit parade. He'll be there in a lap. 1 second at the line. Now we don't know. What we don't know is how much damage the Hearn and Wagner trucks have. Kind of looking to see if I can see anything on that 70.
Here's Goodman with the new set of tires going around Callisto, get himself back 1 lap down. Callisto just lets him on by.
Now here's the you can't underline enough how impressive that was from Pepto Joe to avoid going 2 laps down.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else has gone 2 down except for him.
Yeah. And just a reminder on the rule set we got going on. Of course, this is a 1 mile oval, 150 laps, 150 miles, 4 sets of tires, 1 in the truck, 3 in the pits, 1 fast repair. Again, if you're just joining us, George is running low on the...
George just missed pit road.
Uh-oh.
I think he just missed pit road there, Gary. He's down real slow on the apron and then popped back on the front straight. Stayed on the apron.
It is
the
not
apron here, by the way,
easy to hit pit road here.
No, it's not. And it not only is the apron slick and it's not banked like the rest of the track's fairly high banked. The apron is slick. It's not banked. It is asphalt, not concrete. And Richie Hearn coming down pit road, by the way. So he is said uncle at 71 laps.
Yep. The 1 stopper opens at 75 or just past it. If you're enjoying just joining us, folks, this is Race First coverage of ISRA Truck Series coming to you from Dover. We completed, we're almost at the halfway point. We're at 72 of 150 scheduled laps. If you enjoyed Race First coverage of the tonight's stream and like to monetarily support us, please find a link to our GoFundMe campaign in the stream description. We realize times are tough, so any donation, no matter the amount, is greatly appreciated. Richie Hearn down and away, back to join the action. We'll see what he turns. He's currently holding the purple lap at the moment. We'll see what he does with a new set of tires and a full load of fuel. Now, if he wants to make it, he's going to have to conserve a little bit. He might not, and he smacks the wall on corner exit of 4 there. He might not be able to make it. He might have to conserve just a little bit. He might have to bank on some caution happening.
Well, and same with Rigney on pit road. You also
Wagner on pit road.
Wagner on pit road. So these guys are starting to blink. Now, Matty Wagner made it to 74 laps, so he's going to be
Rigney on pit road.
Here.
So Pepto Joe getting around both those guys. Now the top 3, they have not. Oh, actually here Callisto is stopping. Sam Crow is continuing to do the long haul here. Say hey, Lewis Hayes, also the long haul. But this is going to move Pepto Joe up to 3rd.
Now, I'm interested to see what the gap is. Pepto Joe may have a lap on everybody when this is all said and done. Highly possible.
And there is Joe. He's getting around Wagner. Now Say Hey.
He's going to put it on pit road.
Say Hey is now your leader, and he's going. He's doing the economy run here. Although I think he's slowing down to get on the pit road, and he is.
Yeah, he's on pit road.
Yeah, and that is the last of the pit road cars. So Flanagan will be your leader as he lets Wagner on by. It's probably not a bad idea. And Flanagan now is your leader by 2.6 seconds over Dean Darth Maul. So that early stop by both these guys going on a 2-stopper have pushed them to the front, as we thought it would. Now, is it enough for them to do another stop and still be able to race very hard and get back to these positions? We'll see as this race continues to unfold. Past the halfway point now, 78 of 150 in the books.
20 seconds. So Pepto Joe 20 seconds ahead of Matty Wagner. Lionel Callisto is a lap down. So almost a full second. Wagner is a second a lap quicker than Pepto Joe. My guess, to make a guess, but my guess is there's going to be about a 10 to 15 second differential by the time Pepto Joe pulls in to make his second stop here in 22 laps. Probably closer to, well, 10 to 15 seconds.
And Pepto Joe turning 24.5s, while most everyone around him. Dean did a 25 flat. Goodman a 24 flat. JV a 25 flat. Wagner a 23.5. This will get Wagner back on the lead lap.
Well, and I think Joe's got some traffic. So old Flanagan, he just let Lionel Callisto go. So Callisto back on the lead lap. But
sorry, that was Callisto. Sorry, Callisto and Wagner's trucks are very similar. Sorry, but yeah, you're right. That was Callisto getting back on the lead lap. There's
so
Matty Wagner.
He's they're getting back on the lead lap, which is fine. But these guys are not racing each other. Does Pepto Joe absolutely no good to race Lionel Callisto? Let him go.
No.
Let him go. Does him no good, but you gotta, if you're Pepto Joe now, you still gotta lay down good laps.
Tell you what, Jimbo Pfeiffer, he's got Thrustmaster as sponsorship on his truck. He should really think about getting an architecture firm on there, because he is working like mad to knock down that turn 4 wall.
Wouldn't that be more construction than architecture?
I don't know.
Get that man to call the Caterpillar dealer down there that Ward Burton endorsed. Get himself a steer loader.
He is threatening. Every time he goes by that turn 4 wall, he's either in it or yelling at it, saying I'm gonna knock you down because I don't like the way you're looking at me or something.
If you ever want a funny, just 5 minutes waste of your time, just Google Ward Burton cat skid steer loader. You'll get a chuckle. Ever heard that, Gary?
No. I just, if I want my fill of learning and laughing at cat skid steers, I'd probably just get the latest copy of Farming Simulator and try it myself.
It's a funny list. So, God love Ward Burton, great stock car driver in his own right, Daytona 500 winner. But Ward has an accent, and he went to film a commercial for Cat, and he could not say Cat skid steer loader, and so it's the outtakes of him not being able to say it.
Oh gosh.
And naturally he gets jovially upset with it. It's just a funny
Callisto for position right there on JV. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And move Lionel Callisto up to 5th now.
And those are not same tires, by the way.
No,
those are not.
Tires. JV started on pitted on lap 52.
So, John Bambarales is effectively 2 laps behind Lionel Callisto now. Effectively. Just so we're all kind of on the same
well, on the scoreboard currently, but as this goes, we now forecast. And when this race ends, that's probably where JV will be 2 laps minus on Callisto.
I'm just saying how much I love the chess match of car racing.
Well, when you have kind of a small field, it's good to see that, first of all, we got green flag racing the entire time, Jinx. And we got different pit strategies because a lot of these guys are IndyCar drivers, and old habits die hard. Some of us don't know better, and so we're gonna try to do the 2-stopper and go fast every single lap, or we'll do the 1-stopper and go as long as we absolutely can. The longest run on that last run was 76 laps by Sam Crow, and actually no, Lewis Hayes had 77. I don't know if that's going to help him much in the second half of this race. He's back in 13th now. one lap down. But long as he can stay at least within one lap, he has a shot here.
Yeah, because all those guys on the two stopper are effectively a lap down, right? So Flanagan, when you look at it, he's a lap down, right? Effectively.
Right, even though he's your leader right now, yeah. When he pits here, and about 10 laps, as we forecast, he will go a lap down.
And so that gap that I was talking about, the Callisto to Pepto Joe, right now it's 12 seconds. Right now, 12 seconds is where it stands.
Yep.
And then the other one is, can Richie Hearn even make it?
Yeah, Richie, he stopped at 71. And that's right on the... He's going to have to save a little bit.
Yeah. Which is both easy and difficult to do in these things. There's no fuel mixture knob in a truck.
No.
However, being throttle bodies or carbureted or whatever, have they graduated to 1980s technology yet, or are they still carbureted?
I think these are still carburetors. I think, yeah, the fuel injecting cars, I think, are only the next gen cars.
Well, they're throttle bodies. They're not fuel injections. Let's not get carried away, Gary.
Whatever. I'm not the NASCAR expert. That's why I do IndyCar. Oh, Richie putting it into the wall on turn 4.
He's pedaling.
Yeah, he is.
He's pedaling. But it's easier for the driver in these things, I think, to save than it is in an open wheel car. Just because I feel like, golly, if he doesn't hit it every time he comes off that thing, he gets off close.
We're riding with him now here as he's looking at the tailgate of Say Hey Lewis Hayes. I forget what it was. I think it was just the last race we had last week at Fontana for the IndyCar Oval Series, and someone had hold on a second here. Pepto Joe's your leader. I was going to go through the field. I was scared to get sidetracked, and I just want to make sure we go through the field here. Dean Mall is P2, yep, and Wagner P3. Lionel Callisto there is P4, sporting some damage on the side. So I imagine some guys are going to execute the fast repair on this last stop. I think actually Callisto might have.
Yeah, it's possible. If Richie Hearn hasn't done it yet, he's gonna need to. But I meant to what I was getting at was it's probably a little bit easier to save fuel in these things, just by the nature of how they operate. Especially if you want to save tires too. Saving fuel and saving tires on an oval kind of go hand in hand. But the driver has a lot more impact here than they would in an open wheel car.
You can clutch and coast into these if you want to. Pepto Joe now looking at a lap away from probably certainly the window opens for his final stop. So and I think he's is he going to line up and go, or is he going to go a little bit long and do a bit of a shorter fill? We'll see. But I was saying we got a car on pit road. That is John Van Voorellis. Truck on pit road, another nickel. I was saying how much I don't pay attention to NASCAR. It's like someone had Kyle Larson's livery at the last Fontana race in the top split. I just said, that's the livery that's going to be driven by, and I just finally gave up. I said, that NASCAR driver. And everyone laughed at me. I'm like, man, I don't follow NASCAR on a weekly basis. You think I know Kyle Larson off the top of my head, but nope. I ignore NASCAR on a weekly basis for the most part.
Now he's got a doggone good-looking hot rod, that McLaren.
With the Hendrix Cars sponsorship on the side. Yeah. Here comes Pepto Joe coming to. He's going to hit pit road. He will cross the start-finish line, and he will do 52 laps this time.
I'll tell you what, Richie Hearn is saving a ton of fuel on corner exit because he's got that truck sideways and out of the gas completely every time he comes off the corner.
Well, let's listen to him. Let's ride on. Let's ride along with him again. Very eases into it very gently. out of it, kind of coasts in, starts rolling back into it. I don't even think he's really 100% throttle down the backstretch. Now he gets right to about 100%, right about the 3/4 mark on the backstretch.
Yeah, you'd hear him playing with it. You can hear him playing with it even on the straights.
Back up front, Matty Wagner is now your leader. Lionel Callisto, he did pass Lionel Callisto. We missed that, so apologies.
Shame on us, as always.
Yeah. Oh, Callisto. We're riding with him now, clutching and coasting. That's probably why he lost the lead so quickly. Clutching and coasting.
Well, and what does he know that Matt Wagner doesn't, or vice versa here? Because
let's listen.
Matt Wagner's got an extra lap.
Listen, Eric, listen. Wow. He gets back into it in the middle of the corner. Let's check out Matty Wagner, see what Matty Wagner's doing here. And he's doing the same thing.
It amazes me. The skill that you have to do that is incredible. Not only that, but he's not losing any time.
Here's Michael Goodman. We'll check him out. He gets around the Hacker. Goodman coming into the corner. He's really not slowing down. He's not clutching and coasting. So he is 61, so he's due on pit road in about 13 laps or so.
Yeah, he's kind of splitting that difference. So if you're gonna do the two-stop, there are multiple ways to do it. Maybe Goodman didn't have the speed. Maybe he figures he doesn't have the race pace. It's kind of a way maybe he can get some guys trapped a lap down.
You hear Wagner's car as he goes by, it's just whoosh.
Yeah. You ever want to see that in person, go to Gateway.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, yeah.
Yeah, go to Gateway. You can hear it. We got
so it's 2.1 back to Callisto. Goodman looks like he's still turning laps under power. He's cutting into him. He's got it to 3 seconds, but he does have a lap truck, another nickel, right in front of him. That is Hacker. Hacker on freshies, so I don't think there's any chance that Goodman's really going to run him down.
Richie Hearn, by the way, has gone to pit road. He's going to get 4 new Goodyears and whatever fuel he needs to get to the end.
And let's see, he's down and away. Nice burnout. Does not execute the fast repair, so his nice 4D racewear with Pit Fit sponsorship on the side still scuffed up. Of course, Pit Fit, they are trainers of pit crews here in Indianapolis.
Absolutely. Drivers too, by the way.
Yeah. Their list of clients says a virtual who's who. They sponsored a GR86 series that Matt and I did in the right before the license was reacquired by iRacing for IndyCar. So we talked a lot about Pit Fit with those guys. So they really have nothing but great things to say about Pit Fit. And I think 4D has a bit of a relationship with the Pit Fit now, where you can buy their gear there. Callisto still clutching and coasting. Here comes Goodman. So he is coming in early than we expected. Down on the apron, back up on the track, trying to slow down. He is about 7 laps sooner than we expected him. But this is his final stop.
Now, the leader of the two stoppers is going to be Michael Goodman at the moment. He is 4th, 18 seconds.
Yeah, he's on pit road right now.
Okay, so he's on pit road.
So Pepto Joe is going to pass him.
Right, but Pepto Joe is a lap down. Or no, yeah, he is a lap down. Now he is within touch
But he did pass Goodman though, so he's up to 4th.
Right. You only got 3 on the lead lap: Wagner, Callisto, and Sam Crow.
Right.
Pepto Joe's about. What are we saying here?
And he's being tracked down by Maul. So this is a battle for position right here that we're watching between Pepto Joe and Dean Darth Maul. Goodman coming off of pit road. Chris Reagan is in a battle with Say Hey Lewis Hayes for 6th and 7th.
These guys about 6 seconds from getting their laps back, and they are currently better than a second a lap quicker. So I would anticipate about 5 laps or so. But we're going to see Pepto Joe and Dean Darth Maul get their laps back. Chris Reagan is not in this picture. I'll figure out where he is momentarily.
Crow 11 seconds behind. And we're showing intervals. Now let's show the gap. Crow is 13 seconds behind the leader. Last truck on the lead lap. Turning 24.8. Wagner clutching and coasting still. He's going to have a whole host of angry trucks coming up on him here really quickly, including Richie Hearn and John Varvarelis. And that's a battle for position as well.
Well, those guys all want their laps back too. For them, that's number 1 on the agenda for sure. Get your lap back. Richie Hearn is 2 laps down, by the way. So make him 1 lap down. You see him go by Matty Wagner.
Jimbo Salt Pfeiffer got around Dean Maul. He is back 3 laps down though, in 13th. That's just a battle of track position. And Richie already around Wagner. Here comes Goodman. Goodman going to get around Wagner very quickly here as well. Same for John Von Ellis. Goodman going to go high.
Got to be careful. Be careful.
Yep. Von Ellis thinking about going low. Not quite enough time there to get it in there. Wagner now in the draft of Goodman.
Draft doesn't really affect these things here.
No.
That much.
But I'm willing to bet that he will do anything it takes to save on precious drops of fuel. Here goes JV to the low side, going in the 1. Wagner's giving him room. And he'll take the position. Here comes Pepto Joe to get back on the lead lap. Pepto's got to push now. Running out of time. 122 of 150.
Pepto Joe is saying there's debris everywhere.
It's raining. It's raining in Rhode Island.
There is virtual.
What do you mean? This is Delaware. Anyways, I know.
There is virtual roll bar pad coming out of that 53 truck right now because
there's oil on the racetrack. Too many hot dog wrappers.
They're everywhere.
Here's Callisto. Callisto's now kind of trimmed this down to less than a second. Crow has got it down to 12 seconds. Flanagan back on the lead lap. Continues to pull away. He's 20 seconds. He might run out of time. We'll see. Wagner turning now 25 ones. Ooh, Rigney getting underneath Flanagan. I think Rigney just has really fresh tires at the moment. Rigney just pitted on 111, so yeah, he has pretty fresh tires. So the pit report for the leaders right now, just to remind everybody, Wagner went at 74 laps, so he should be able to make it if he's been saving this much fuel. Callisto, he went in at 75 right at the halfway point. Oh, George Anzaldo probably wants that Caterpillar sponsorship. He's trying to knock down that turn 4 wall.
Get that man a wrecking ball. Holy Moses.
And
it's going to be it.
Callisto led it on 75. Crow went on 76. So Crow should be good to go without even saving.
Well, and the lap times are telling that. Of the front three, Sam Crow is by far the quickest.
24.8 last time by.
So Pepto Joe is catching Crow, Callisto, and Wagner. Crow is catching Wagner, and I don't think anybody's catching Pepto Joe. He was 7/10 of a lap quicker than everybody else.
Well, let's talk about lap average. We got some last 5 and last 10 lap averages. Wagner for the last 10 has been at a 25 flat. So is Callisto. But Crow and Pepto Joe are in the 24s. Pepto Joe is significantly faster in the last 10 laps with a 24.3 versus Crow's 24.9s. So he, as in the last 10 laps, this man right here, Pepto Joe, in the green truck, your fastest man.
Yeah. Well, and you would kind of anticipate that.
Yeah.
Dean Mall wants back on that lead lap too, Gary. He is all over the back of Matty Wagner here.
Yeah, we missed Dean Mall last week, so he wants to assert himself once again. People remind him, hey, I'm still in this championship race. He might not have a shot at the championship, but he definitely has a shot at improving himself in the championship at the moment. And also, of course, next week, getting another win to round out the first season here in the ISRA Truck Series. I understand we are moving to, after this, Xfinity Series trucks, whatever, Gary. Xfinity cars will be when we move forward. We'll be picking up that series in late April. But Mall back on the lead lap. Flanagan has cut into that 20-second gap, now 17 seconds. Crow cut into his gap at 12 seconds. Callisto still holding firm at 9/10 behind Wagner. Callisto's still saving fuel.
Yeah.
.133 of 150. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Race First coverage of Round 7 of the ISRA Truck Series, coming to you from Dover, where Matty Wagner currently leads with 133 of 150 scheduled laps. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. And don't forget your commentary team. Send us a donation via our GoFundMe campaign. Link is in the description. We certainly would appreciate it. Callisto getting around George Anzaldo. It's just a battle of track position right there. Wagner is your leader. There he is. Callisto lost a little bit of ground that time. Just wondering when Callisto has enough that he can go. Maybe he doesn't. We have gone, and I'm going to jinx it right here. I know Matty Wagner doesn't want me to because I did it to him last time. But we have gone caution-free. Caution-free so far. Rigney with the purple lap, and that's a cool new thing for our overlay. You see right there the 9 with Rigney right next to his position. That says that he just turned the purple lap.
There we go. How about that?
23.278.
Yeah, he's getting after it. Still just super impressed. Even clutching and coasting. The speed for Wagner and Callisto remains hyper competitive. Pepto Joe's still 0.3 of a lap quicker.
Ooh, Reagan in the wall in corner 4. Crow had to work a way around that. That might have interrupted Crow, but Crow's still coming very, very fast. Let's real quick go through the field before we get to the last 10 laps here. George Anzaldo is back in 14th. He's just driving to survive at this point. Jimbo Pfeiffer, He is 13th in his first race of the series. We welcome him. Ron Hacker is 12th, and he is 2 laps down. First truck 2 laps down. John Van Voorellis, he is among those that did the 2-stopper. He's back in 11th. Chris Reagan in 10th. Say Hey Lewis Hayes, he is in 9th. Rigney with the purple lap, as mentioned. He has worked his way up to 8th. He's improved 5 spots. He is the second biggest gainer on the day. Richie Hearn started from the pole and then is kind of fell back now to P7. 1 lap down. Michael Goodman all by himself right there in his Ford. He is 6th. Dean Darth Mall right there behind Lionel Callisto. It's not a battle for position, but he wants to get by Callisto so he can get up to Wagner and get back on the lead lap. Pepto Joe is in 4th. He's good to go to the end. He should not have to save any fuel. Sam Crow should be in the same situation. So Crow is on the 1-stopper. Pepto Joe is the first of the 2 stoppers. Lionel Callisto now much more closer to Wagner at 6/10. He is doing a 1-stopper again and is trying to bring the battle closer to Wagner. Wagner, your leader, also on the 1-stopper, stopped last at 74. Callisto at 75. Crow at 76. Crow should be good to go, like we said. We know Pepto Joe is. And look at that. The line that Callisto's running there is so much lower. Let's ride along with Callisto and see if he's doing any saving. No, he's not.
No, and that could have been just a deal where, they're putting it in the bank.
Oh,
so
there
they
he
can
is.
go
He is
hard
saving.
left. So somebody who isn't saving is Pepto Joe Flanagan. He is going to be all over. Oh, he's just got by Sam Crow. So move Pepto Joe up to 3rd.
He's going to run out of time, though. Seven laps to go.
Well, and he's not really, the tires have equalized now, so he's not really catching the front 2, who of course have been saving fuel this entire time. They've also been saving tires this entire time. Sam Crow, we know, wasn't saving anything, and he's burned the tires off of his truck. Pepto Joe, of course, is running for all it's worth. He's burned the tires off of his truck. He's still a little bit quicker, but the difference is no longer, second and a half a lap. It's down to 2 or 3 tenths.
And just to show you the points one more time, Callisto with the lead in the points, 227 to 203 over Matt Wagner. So this right here has direct play into watching these 2 race for the inaugural championship next week. Callisto cuts it to 2 tenths.
Yep. All the virtual eyes in Dover, Delaware on the front 2.
5 to go. Does a Callisto have to save that much as just like Wagner has to save, and he just can't get there?
Well, and you don't know how much of this. Moving myself on my receipt. How much of this is mental? Right. How much is, Lionel Callisto making Matt Wagner go harder than he wants to, or, how much does Lionel Callisto have in reserve? Because he's been saving an awful long time. We're going to come get 2 to go here this time. But he's been saving for this almost entire run. So has he got something in reserve?
2 tenths.
Oh, yeah.
2 tenths, 3 to go. No traffic really playing a role now. We do see JV up there about 2.7 seconds up the road. 3 laps to go. 2 tenths. Back to Callisto. Callisto that much lower on the racetrack. You saw that from that shot right there. 2 tenths. Can he get there? Coming to the white flag.
Here we go. 1 to go.
He's there. They're both going to be in it. They're both not going to be clutching and coasting here. Down the backstretch. Wagner stays high. So does Callisto. He's going to run. It looks like he's going to try to run and go down the banking and see if that maybe helps him. But I think he's going to run out of time. Matty Wagner gets the win that he's been waiting for. A fuel mileage win, not jinxed by a caution. Matty Wagner gets the win. Congratulations. Lionel Callisto does exactly what he needs to do for the points championship. He improves 8 spots. He's your biggest gainer in the day. He's up to P2. And Pepto Joe comes home and third.
Well done. Well done. Sam Crow. Well done to Sam Crow. 4th on the one stop, 13 seconds in arrears. The only other car on the lead lap. Well done to Sam Crow.
And there you go. We have the extended session results here. Wagner did it on the one stop. Callisto did it on the one stop. Crow also on the one stop. Say Hayes on the one stop. Reagan on the one stop. But the fast two stoppers stormed front. Pepto Joe on the two stopper. Goodman on the two stopper. Maul, Hearn, Rigney. But the way it turned out, Wagner first, Callisto second, Pepto Joe third, Sam Crow fourth, Goodman fifth, Dean Maul sixth, Richie Hearn 7th, Rigney 8th, Say Hey Lewis Hayes in 9th, Chris Reagan in 10th, JV 11th, Ron Hacker 12th, Jimbo Pfeiffer, he's in 13th, and George Ansaldo is 14th. Not a bad race, caution free.
Hour and 2 minutes, Gary. Hour and 2 minutes, just the way we like it. Wonderful job by these competitors. These drivers all did an amazing job staying out of everybody's way. And that's really hard to do, by the way, when you've got half the field doing one thing and half the field doing the other, and their speed differential. That is extremely hard to stay out each other's way. So kudos to these guys, even for that. I know it doesn't sound like it, but that's a huge achievement to not run over each other when you've got those huge differentials.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. And let's get in here and see who is. See if we got Pepto Joe in the one of the rating rooms yet. Bring him in. Don't see him yet. He might not join the crew. If not, we can get him next. We can always bring up Lionel Callisto next here. Go ahead and bring up Lionel Callisto here. Hey, Lionel, got you in the booth here with Gary and Mark. Congratulations, man. P2 on a one-stopper. Kind of repeated the same thing you did last week. Just one less position, but you're on the podium again, and you really set yourself up in a very good position for next week in this championship. Talk about your race.
I didn't realize I was going to be short on gas after the stop. Well, I was 5 laps short, so I guess the last 40 laps or 30 laps, I was just trying to save as much fuel as I can. But I just couldn't. I just needed one more lap.
Yeah, we thought you had enough based upon when you stopped, but I guess that you got different mileage in the second half of the race versus the first half of the race.
I think so. At first, I thought I was going to make it without saving gas, but then after 10 laps in, I'm oh no, I'm 3 laps short. And then it's becoming 4 laps short, and I'm okay, I got to start saving now.
Easier said than done in a truck. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask Matt the same question, Lionel. How much fuel did you have left when you crossed the finish line?
I was about 0.2, 0.3.
Oof.
And then one more lap. Yeah, I was 0.7, 0.3. I would not have made the next lap.
And that's so hard to gauge too, right? When you're saving fuel. So well done to you. Second place. P2 carries you to a nice point lead heading to California. You got anybody you want to say hi to? Shout out. Anybody to thank?
Everybody in the league, you guys, everybody pretty much involved in this league. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, congratulations, and looking at a championship run. But we got to get past Fontana next week. So great run for you. Did everything you needed. Congratulations, and we'll catch you next week for Championship Monday.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so we'll bring up Matt Wagner, and we'll let you ask your question of him in a minute. We'll bring him up. Hey, Matt, we got you here in the booth with Gary and Mark. So finally, not bit by the caution bug, and you won a fuel mileage race.
Yeah, well, thanks. Let's not talk about yesterday because I had that race in the bag. It was sealed, wrapped, and delivered. I had the fuel mileage, but today is a different story. That was tedious.
Well, how short were you that they got to save?
Well, wouldn't you like to know? As soon as I crossed the line, just before I crossed the line, it started sputtering.
Ooh. So, Mark, go ahead with your question. I think he answers your question, though.
Yeah, so I asked Lionel this, and you kind of answered it, which was, how much gas did you have left when you crossed the line? You said it was sputtering. When did you realize that you had to save? Did you think you were going to have to save at the outset, or was the mileage different in the second half? Talk me through the one stop and how you executed that.
All right, so I was kind of figured. I said, well, good God, I said we're pitting at 74. I think I pitted at 74.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, I was off throttle like a lot during that run, and like, okay. So the plan was to try and build enough gap, run it just a little bit hard, and see if I can get a little gap on Lionel, because he's pretty good at this. I'm not. so I built the gap, and then I started clutching in the corners, and tried to compare my lap times to Lionel's. He was a little bit faster at times. I think he was using maybe a little bit more fuel than me that time, because he had a lap on me. I think a lap or 2 laps on me. I'm not mistaken. So he was puttering too, but he had 0.3 left as we talked in before he got pulled up. But all in all, that was fun. I had an amazing time. I enjoy watching these broadcasts, especially from Mr. Mark Murphy. I like his insights. It's really good, even though it's more of IndyCar. I do appreciate you and Gary here.
Hey, no worries.
But
hey,
yes,
man,
sir.
you did everything you needed to do in order to get yourself in contention for next week. You won the race, and you're the only one that really made up any ground on Callisto. So it's going to be you two going for the championship next week. I would imagine that after kind of some of the other heartbreaks you've had in DW12, which we won't talk about anymore other than that.
Can we just don't talk about it? We're talking about trucks here, man.
But you gotta imagine that you kind of wash some of that bad taste out, and then get the good old taste of a win here, and then going into the championship Monday with a shot to win a series championship.
Oh, it feels pretty good, but it's a tough mountain to climb. There's probably some things that they're going to have to happen, but we'll see. I haven't seen the points yet, but we'll just go down swinging.
That's all you got.
If we wreck trying, heck, it is what it is.
So the point situation is Callisto 265. You are 246.
Ooh, that's probably about. I pretty much got beaten by 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah, you definitely have to beat him and hope he doesn't have a very consistent race, which he's been having, a series of lately. So a lot to do going into next week, but you're in the neighborhood.
Yes.
But the win today, that's nevertheless, you got to set up in order to set up next week. You got to get by today. You did everything you needed to do today. So congratulations. I know you got shout outs. I know you got friends and family. So go right ahead. You got the microphone. You earned the opportunity. Go ahead, give them all your shout outs.
Yeah. To thank my teammates back home at TWR. Love you guys. James Watson, you're hell of a friend, good friend. Thank you. You guys with the broadcast, I'd like to thank my family, my mother, father, bless them. Yeah, it's been a blessing, man. It's to really get a win today. It's such a relief. It's a good ease of pain because of we're not going to talk about some other time that happened in the past, and we're just going to go into the future. And you guys are amazing, and keep up the great work.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Congratulations on the win. We'll catch you for Championship Monday next week.
Love it. See you guys later.
Well, Mark, that was a very interesting one. Kind of that's another race that we've watched here at Dover, and a fuel mileage race broke out.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, this series continues to never disappoint with the differing strategies. You had Pepto Joe in the two-stop and stand on it and let her rip. Matty Wagner and Lionel Callisto clutching and coasting around for half the race to bring home a mileage. It just proves to you what a chess match big time auto racing is, and it's truly a pleasure to watch. Wonderful win today for Matty Wagner. A great second from Lionel Callisto. I can't wait for the finale to see who comes out on top with the trophy and the money.
And the league is recruiting for their upcoming series that they'll be following up the truck series with. So I don't think we have a link to their Discord in the description, but we do have for the Race First Discord, I believe. And if so, join that and DM me, and I'll make sure we'll get you into the ISRA Discords where you can ask around and potentially sign up for one of the upcoming seasons. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Dover. Matty Wagner with the win finally. Lionel Callisto with another podium, setting up a great championship battle next Monday, Championship Monday at Fontana. And Pepto Joe, the first of the two stoppers, works his way up the third. I wish he was in chat. I would like to kind of hear about his strategy there. I'll take one more look. I don't think he's there, though. No, he's not. But good strategy call on him. It almost worked out. Join Race First again next week for round 8 of the ISRA Truck Series for Championship Monday as the teams and drivers head to Fontana for the last race of the season. Coverage begins around 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time again. That's 9:35 p.m. Eastern. Again, as always, you can find everything right here on YouTube at youtube.com/RaceFirst. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. And let us know what you thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. And if you're new, click subscribe right at it. Hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more Race First's other iRacing programming, including our signature show tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, the IndyCar Oval Series from the Nashville Super Speedway. You ready for that one, Murph?
Absolutely.
Got to qualify good there.
Yeah.
Because it's tough to pass. So keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First. We know what Indy means. For business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So for Mark Murphy, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gotcha saying to all, good night. Thanks for watching. And to all of men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week for Championship Monday in Fontana for the next race of the ISRA Truck Series. Good night.